Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jonathan Thames here of Rosie and Ernie Productions. Welcome to the Multimedia Megafan channel, and today we're talking about the second installment of the Conjuring series, The Conjuring 2, which was released in 2016 as a follow-up to the 2013 film, and again features director James Wan behind the helm and brings back Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga into their roles as real-life supernatural investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren, and is based loosely off of one of their real-life cases. This time, the movie follows the Warrens as they attempt to help the family of single mother Peggy Hodgson, played by Frances O'Connor, as they are seemingly harassed by a supernatural entity. After seeing the first Conjuring, I was curious to see if the sequel held up to the same quality and caliber of the first film, as it's no surprise that sequels normally aren't able to capture the same essence of whatever made their prior installments so great. But I'm really happy to say that that was not at all the case with this movie, in my opinion. I actually thought it was almost every bit as good as the first one, which, if you haven't seen my review on that one yet, I thought it was great. Like that movie, this film serves as another shining example of James Wan's mastery over the craft, especially within this genre. Again, utilizing every single element of filmmaking to its full potential to accompany the unfolding story. The movie effectively creates a very genuine and convincingly horrifying atmosphere and remains tension and suspense-filled throughout. But a couple of interesting elements about this film are introduced that really help to separate it from the first film. And the first thing I really like is that while helping the family being tormented by the spirit, we simultaneously get a story arc of an entity that is tormenting the Warrens, established in the first scene and continuing to unveil itself throughout the movie, and thought they were able to tie it in very well and very relevantly to the rest of the story. Also, the entity itself, which is a mysterious demonic nun, is extremely creepy and very well executed in the scenes where she's present. And it effectively generated the interest for me to dive deeper into that story, which of course is followed up on in the 2018 film The Nun, so I definitely looked forward to checking that out prior to watching it. Unfortunately, that's another conversation for another day. The other element that separates this film from the first one is the element of doubt that's in the story. In the first one, Wan does such a good job at getting the audience to accept the genuine nature of the forces at work very early on as indisputable, leaving little to no room to doubt any of the Perron family's experiences as being anything but real. In contrast to that, in this movie, Wan does an excellent job doing just the opposite. Despite there being so much happening in your face and in a universe that's already firmly established that these supernatural entities are definitely a real thing, he manages to effectively create doubt, an inkling that just lingers in the viewer's minds, and you don't really know whether or not the events experienced by the family that they're helping is part of some elaborate hoax, and that doubt really lingers until all of the questions in the movie are answered. It was a very well executed element of the film that I had a lot of appreciation for. The overall storytelling is terrific, again pretty much with every scene with a scare delivering very, very well and in a way that somehow manages to avoid feeling overly cliche. As with the first one, the performances by the entirety of the cast are great. Patrick Wilson is consistent in delivering his character well and making him come across as very sincere and genuine. Vera Farmiga is fantastic, and I wouldn't necessarily say that her performance in this one is better than in the first, but it definitely stands out a little more in my mind, and I think that's because from a writing standpoint, her character was given more room to work within, and she definitely adequately utilized the space given to her, particularly when it comes to the fear she develops of losing her husband due to a premonition she has in the film's opening sequence. Frances O'Connor also does a great job as Peggy Hodgson. As a struggling, scared single mother desperate to keep her kids safe from the entity believed to be endangering them, she does it really well. Young actress Madison Wolfe also delivers a phenomenal performance as the entity's main target and Peggy's youngest daughter, Janet. Like the first movie, this one is paced very well and leaves little to no room for any drag or any boredom at any point and remains engaging throughout. Overall, I give the movie a rating of 8 out of 10 and thought it was an excellent inclusion into the series that holds up extremely well next to its predecessor. So if you liked the first one, I definitely recommend checking this one out if you haven't gotten around to seeing it yet. I also recommend it to anyone, again, who enjoys a good supernatural-based horror story, as I feel like it's an excellent inclusion into that genre altogether. The Conjuring 2 is currently streaming on Netflix, so if you're interested in seeing it, go check it out and come back and let me know in the comments what you thought about it. I want to thank everybody for watching this review. I hope that everybody out there is doing well, and I'll see you all in the next video.